Welcome back. Friday, Fanmail, Q&A, lovely. Captain Squid will continue to be my hat until a better one arrives, which I don't think is ever going to happen. So what's going on? Well, by the time this video goes out, I will already be most of the way to Afterworlds. And this is the final Afterworlds for the year, the final Afterworlds for a 10-year story arc. It is going to be amazing. I will hopefully get some video, but I make no promises. No promises. Hopefully somebody somewhere gets video. Yeah. I continue to try to get better event footage and continue to fail. A week after that, I will be going to Europe for a week, so there may be a whole week where I don't have any uploads because I doubt I will get a week's worth of videos prepared ahead of time, but we'll see. I might be able to get some stuff. You never know. You never know. Maybe I'll just do a bunch of range days in a row and just upload them all. After that, I will be going to Ragnar Oktoberfest, and I will be going to Mutation Mole Madness. And then I don't have any more event plans for the rest of the year. There may be more, I just don't have them planned. If you have not already, I highly recommend you join the World Foam Alliance. We are now streaming every Wednesday. Get Off My Lawn with me and Al the Geek are every other Wednesday, and in the alternating Wednesdays, it is Foam Zone with Dart Sweep, where he does a panel, or not a panel show, more of an interview with someone from the hobby, and it may be a big name, it may be a new name, it may be clubs, it'll be different every week, so that should be a lot of fun. I will also soon be having The Range, which will be similar to my Range days, but it will be on the World Foam Alliance, and that will be the one where you guys get to vote on what I take to the range, so that should be fun. Next week, it should be, I believe it'll be, you voted for half darts and vortex discs are what ended up winning the vote. So that's what I'll be taking to the range, as well as something new to plink with. I don't know what I will take yet. I will decide when I get back from Afterworlds and film the footage. Yeah. I'd also like to announce that I'm going to be cutting back on non-Nerf related reviews. As much as I love getting free stuff, I'm a shameless fan of getting free stuff. I'm not a fan of how it has apparently tanked my algorithm. I have been told it is possibly largely responsible for the stagnation of my channel growth. So I'm gonna quit doing so many of those. If I do review stuff, it will be stuff that is somehow Nerf related, and the video will focus on how it's Nerf related. There is an item coming. It will be hopefully the last flashlight I review for Through Night. But it is one that is genuinely useful for Nerf events. Hopefully, we will see. We will see. I'm hoping it does. Yeah, I'm gonna try to get back to doing what I actually enjoy doing. Monday mod tips, assembly guides, weird builds. The stuff my channel was built on and that I have drifted away from, and I don't like it. So, yeah. We will see. Let's answer some questions. Big Picture X, do you think that Nerf will make a pro long shot or rapid strike? Well, apparently they've said in an interview or in an article that they're not planning to make any pro springers, which I find weird, but also not terribly surprising. I definitely think they're going to make something full auto, or at the very least select fire. They went with semi-auto first. The logical step next would be full auto, and then a select fire blaster. And they might do them all with the Strife shell, just by having different kits. The shell design would definitely lend itself to that, having a geared pusher at all. It would be very easy to put a motorized geared pusher in there. Same thing with select fire. They could easily do that. They have what I believe is where a screen or a selector switch might go. We will see. I do hope they do eventually make whole new stuff, just from the ground up pro blasters. In pistols and SMGs and rifles and all that. And if the market decrees that they should, they will. It'll depend on how this whole line goes for them. We'll have to see what they plan to do with their pro line. I assume they're going to have tournaments, or they're going to push some kind of a sport, Nerf ball, or whatever they're calling it, something like that. We will see. We will see. I'm excited, but cautiously. John Villarico. What blaster do you think Hasbro can make or remake on Hasbro Pulse? I would like to see a remake of the 95 crossbow that fires modern ammo, so Elite Darts, Mega Darts, Rival, Mega XL, maybe Nerf arrows. You might be able to make it do all of those. Just have to make the right barrel, the right post for it. A tapered, staggered one, like on the Triple Torch. That's what I would like to see. Yeah, that's what I'd like to see. The Great Saxtonian. Has there ever been a time where the rapid progress made in the hobby has frustrated you? Yeah, Worker coming out with the Phoenix and then the Phoenix 2.0. I got a pair of Phoenixes and then the Phoenix 2.0 came out and it's like, ugh, I could have just waited. I went to all the trouble to paint them and to get a nice body kit for them, and then the Phoenix 2.0 came out and it's like, well, this is what I wanted. That's one. That's the only one that really jumps out at me. There have been times where it wasn't really the rapid progress, it was just how slow I was to get things. Like, by the time I finally got Desert Pigeons, they were obsolete, but... yeah, Phoenix 2.0, that was the one. And I think that also might have been just a lot of, it took me so long to get Phoenixes. Christopher Gaudreau, what is your favorite cat and dog breed or breed mix? Mutts. Mutts and only mutts. The whole concept of purebred dogs is just deeply creepy to me because of what it requires, the amount of inbreeding necessary, and the weird cultish elitism around it. It just is icky. It is icky. I don't like it. I don't like it one bit. Mutts. That's why I have a swamp cat. Yeah. Icarus asks, what do you have against bananas? They know what they did. Avern Segal. Avner Segal. Have you ever watched or read Berserk, the anime or manga? I think I watched 1 or 2 episodes and it just didn't grab me and I moved on. Never read the manga though. Alan Sutherland, what is the coolest blaster you have ever seen from a purely aesthetic standpoint? Ooh, I mean, it's got to be probably something by Andy Work. He has produced such beautiful stuff, but I saw so many absolutely amazing blasters in the Friday fan build series, and now the Show Me the Mod series since Andy Work took over the Friday fan builds for me. Just gorgeous stuff. Absolutely beautiful pieces of work. Just art. I also am a huge fan of the Deplorable Mark II, both from an aesthetic and a functional standpoint. It's just a fabulous blaster. Also, Tyr's not here. Tyr's coming with me to Afterworlds. And you notice there's some gaps on the wall. That's because some of the good stuff is coming to Afterworlds. It's going to be fun. The Allen Journal. 3 questions. Is there a way to mount a holster or to a barricade or a Maverick? Yeah, same way you mount them to anything else. Glue it or screw it. You might have to either build up some, a flat portion, because neither of those really lend themselves easily. But you're going to have the holster plate with the magnets on it, and you're just going to have to figure out how to, maybe have some standoffs and bolt it in, or fill in with epoxy or something and screw it on. But you definitely can. What is the optimal motor set for HVZ? There isn't one, unfortunately. That's the annoying thing, is the motors you pick are going to depend on, do you already have the battery? Do you already, what cage, what wheels, what blaster, what rule set? Some HVZs it's 130, some it's 120, some it's 135, some I've even been to had 150. There is no one that is perfect for all of them, unfortunately. Michelle 2s with the right cage and motor will generally get you a good numbers. Same with, I mean, really any of the motors, since they all more or less, all the big ones, have more or less the same RPM. It really comes down to cage and wheels, and I don't know them all off the top of my head. Between the motors, wheels, and cages that Out of Darts carries, there are approximately 10,290 different motor wheel cage combinations, and I do not have all of their specs memorized. I'm sorry. The easiest way to ensure that your blaster will work is to put in a PWM. And then it's adjustable, and you can adjust it, and then it will work. But Michelle 2s with a low crush cage and standard wheels can get you there. Another option is to build a 3S blaster, but then put a 2S in it. So Krakens or Valkyries, but run on 2S, will usually get you down below the 120 mark. That's what I'll be doing for some of the blasters that I'll be using at Afterworlds. They were built for high-powered stuff, but simply by putting in a 2S LiPo instead of a 3S, you get it down to Afterworlds as 120. And ideally lower than that, because nobody wears iPro, and it's just rude. And his final question, are there any kits that make a barricade a half-dart magazine-fed pistol? Kits? Not that I'm aware of. I mean, you can check Thingiverse, but it wouldn't be terribly difficult to do it yourself. You would just need to get a half-dart magwell adapter and mount it in place of the cylinder. This was actually before the Strife existed. That's what people would do. They would mount a magazine well where the cylinder went, and it would essentially give you a Strife before the Strife existed. And then Hasbro took one look at that and went, hey, we can make those. And then the Strife came out, and it's been out ever since. And you can do the same thing, is just get a magwell adapter for a half-dart magazine and mount it in such a way that it, you'll then need to probably make an extended pusher, which would be really easy. You just need to glue something to the end of the pusher to make it longer, and then you should be good to go. It would actually be fairly simple, and the Barricade is a good platform to do it. They had unusually good motors. They will run on a decent battery, or you can put 3, IMRs or LIFE PO4s, IFRs or IMRs, and it'll work quite well. So yeah. And finally, Dark Lord of Sword. Would you like more fudge? Absolutely, especially mint fudge. I do like me some mint. All right, that's it. No package, no loot, which means at this rate I might be able to start doing these videos once a month. It used to be I had to do one a week just to keep up, and then it slowed down, thankfully, and it was every other week. And if it continues to stay slow, I will be able to then cut it back and have more time for more fun videos again. Similar to why I'm not doing reviews anymore. They just take up too much time. And then I never get them done, and I feel bad, and then they pile up, and then I dump it all at once, and you're like, why don't you ever do Nerf stuff? And you're like, I don't know. Anyway, at least one video between now and when I leave for Europe will be dart sorting, so I can just relax and sort darts. I might even do it no, I do too many, I already do live streams. Anyway. A little bit low. I'm gonna go eat dinner and finish packing for Afterworlds. I'm going to spend the weekend hunting people for sport. And I'm looking forward to that. Thank you for watching. Squish!